The courtroom was silent when the judge asked, "Does anyone stand for the defense?" Everyone looked away. The Marine colonel sat alone, abandoned, disgraced, forgotten. Then a tired single dad stood up from the back row, fists shaking, voice breaking, and said 5 words that froze the entire court. "I will defend her." No one knew why he stood up. No one knew who he really was. And no one expected what would happen next. She had defended this country for 22 years. But on the day she needed someone to defend her, the courtroom benches were empty. Her own comrades were missing. Her reputation was being destroyed. And the only person who noticed her tears was a single dad who had already lost everything. The Marine colonel sat straight, just like she had been trained to do decades ago, but her eyes betrayed her strength. They were tired, red, hollow. Colonel Sarah Mitchell had led troops through deserts and firestorms, had made decisions that saved lives and haunted her nights, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. A courtroom, a wooden bench, and absolute silence behind her. She was being accused of misconduct during a classified rescue operation overseas. Orders she followed were now being questioned. Men who once saluted her had suddenly forgotten meetings, emails, and commands. Politics had arrived, and honor had quietly left through the back door. The judge asked if the defense was ready. Her lawyer was absent. "Health reasons," they said. No replacement. No support. Just her. She swallowed hard. Her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted her uniform. 22 years of service, medals locked away in a box, and now she was just another name on a charge sheet. From the back of the courtroom sat a man holding his young daughter's hand. His jacket was old. His shoes scuffed. His posture bent, not from weakness but from life. His name was Daniel Carter. A widowed single father who worked 2 jobs and still felt like he was failing at both. He hadn't come for her. He came because his daughter had asked him a simple question that morning. "Daddy, why do good people cry?" Daniel noticed the colonel's hands shaking. He noticed how no one met her eyes. He noticed something familiar, abandonment. The same look his wife had worn in the hospital room before she passed. The same look he'd worn when the bills piled up and help never came. The prosecutor spoke loudly, confidently, tearing into the colonel's reputation. Each word felt like a slap. Sarah closed her eyes for just a second, not in fear, but in exhaustion. Then the judge asked again, "Does anyone wish to speak for the defense?" Silence. Daniel felt his heart pounding. His daughter squeezed his hand and whispered, "Daddy, she looks lonely." Something broke inside him. Before his mind could stop him, his body stood. "I will defend her." Gasps echoed. Heads turned. The judge frowned. The prosecutor smirked. "And who are you?" the judge asked. Daniel swallowed. "No one important, Your Honor. Just someone who knows what it feels like to be left alone when you told the truth." Sarah turned around for the first time. Their eyes met. And for the first time that day, she felt seen. They thought he was just a broken man with worn shoes and borrowed courage. They laughed when he spoke. They doubted when he stood. But the moment he revealed why he knew the truth, the judge stood up. The prosecutor went silent. And the Marine colonel realized. She was never abandoned. She was being protected. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. The prosecutor objected immediately. "This is highly irregular." The judge studied Daniel carefully. "Sir, do you have legal credentials?" Daniel shook his head. "No, sir." "Military background?" He paused. Looked at Sarah. Then at his daughter. "Yes. But not the kind you put on posters." Laughter rippled through the room. But Daniel didn't flinch. "I was there," he said quietly. "The night they're talking about. I wasn't in command. I wasn't on the news. But I was on the ground." The laughter died. He explained, slowly, painfully, how he had once been part of a covert logistics unit. How Colonel Mitchell had overridden a dangerous order to delay extraction, saving civilians and soldiers alike. How the paperwork had been altered later. How the men responsible were now hiding behind silence. The judge leaned forward. The prosecutor's face tightened. Daniel pulled a folded, worn document from his pocket. A copy of a mission log. Time-stamped. Signed. Forgotten by everyone except the man who had almost died that night. Sarah's breath caught. She remembered him now. The quiet man who carried wounded civilians. The one who never spoke unless necessary. The one who disappeared after the mission. "Why didn't you come forward earlier?" the judge asked. Daniel's voice cracked. "Because I went home to bury my wife. Because no one called me. And because I thought the truth didn't need me anymore." Silence fell like a wave. The judge called for a recess. Records were reviewed. Witnesses summoned. Lies unraveled. By the end of the day, the charges collapsed. Colonel Sarah Mitchell was cleared. As the courtroom emptied, she approached Daniel. Her voice trembled. "Why did you do it?" Daniel looked at his daughter, who was smiling proudly. "Because someone once defended me when I couldn't stand," he said. "And because no one who served with honor deserves to stand alone." Sarah saluted him, not as a colonel, but as a human being. And in that moment, Daniel Carter, single dad, forgotten soldier, ordinary man, proved that courage doesn't need rank, only heart.